Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
To the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. FedEx St. Jude Championship picks preview. One and done. Cust has eliminated himself from the one and done. He's done making picks. They've been too bad, but maybe if you harass him on Twitter, he will get back to you to figure that out. Additionally, I want to thank all of you for tuning in live. I'm going to be in Memphis at the St. Jude at TPC Southwind this weekend. I'm doing work with the PGA Tour. It's going to be me. It's going to be Rick, and we're going to be on the PGA Tour YouTube channel and all of their platforms doing post-round recaps. Plus, we have a fan meetup on Friday afternoon at the course if you are around. But I'll be there in the entire week. So if you're stumbling around Memphis, not necessarily walking, but stumbling in Memphis, you come up and say hi, all right? Because I'm going to need things to do. Jeffrey, you had a weekend for all weekends. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, like the PGA Tour is amazing. I love the FedEx Cup. It's the only appropriate way to follow that intro. Great weekend. I'm a little gassed this morning, Pat, but yeah, I had a weekend full of winners. And the other part that I didn't even mention in my winning tweet weekend was that I filled the car filled with Reese's Take 5 that I ransacked and got it over the border. No tariffs. Ha ha! Winning! We don't have those at home, and I love them. And anyone who's watched the shows know when I do go to the States, we smuggle. We smuggle. Amazing weekend. I went to Canton, Ohio for the NFL Hall of Fame. An easy drive. It was literally as no longer than me driving to Montreal for the President's Cup. And it was a lovely drive through Buffalo, then into Pennsylvania, mainly Erie, and then into Ohio. So 3 states. That was a lot of fun. Lovely drive. Went by myself. Not that I don't have friends, but my friends are busy, and it was a long weekend here in Canada. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm still doing this. I don't need anybody. I really wish I did have a +1 because it would have been nice for someone to grab like other angles or, be almost like a videographer for me in some ways. But I went a few years ago for Ladanian, so I knew how awesome it was. I knew what to expect. I knew what how it works. And again, it's almost just like an NFL Comic-Con in some ways. There are just the amount of NFL characters that are there, past, present, the amount of like old Charger era alumni that were there, just fantastic. Everyone was just lovely. Incredible interactions all around. Remind me at the end of this story to tell you the only persons and a half that big timed me. And it's fucking hilarious. And I tell you, it ain't ownership. It ain't Phillip Rivers. It ain't Sean Merriman. It ain't any of like Roman Oben, King Dunlap, Russell Okun, and Malcolm Floyd, like any of the consortium of that era Chargers are all Phillips offensive lineman, Nick Hardwick. Great to catch up. Even I was a big Mike Cyphers fan. So, even these eyes, that's Mike Cyphers. One of you guys like, who the fuck is Mike Cyphers? That's okay. So, yeah, I had a ball. And Dr. Chow, Dr. Collins. Yeah, even saw Johnny Knoxville because I guess he's friends with Jared Allen. But, yeah, and I met Phillip, and that was great. And I guess that's what people want to hear about. And credit to the one person on Charger Social, more not really part of social, like the team cameraman who I recognized almost just because of like I watched those like videos on the Chargers website and it'd be like a day in the game day with the team cameraman, and I'd watch that 5-minute video. But he told me where Phillip was. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see Phillip for a long time. And Phillip was not in his like seat for the Gates thing the whole time. Phillip was, somewhere else. Leave it at that. But everyone was great. Everyone was great. I'm trying to think of anything that wasn't great. It was all great. Antonio Gates, like all class, but he didn't play a snap of college football. What the fuck is that? Gates souvenirs were hard to come by because the Chargers played in the Hall of Fame game. And the lady said, yeah, like the things that I would have wanted got snapped up, but I got some nice stuff for my nephew. A lot of great souvenirs, but I don't know what to Philip was great. I told Philip like foxhole. I told him my daughter Isabel River, like that's it. When so he was lovely. Oh, what a lovely the whole group of them. Lovely. Everyone was so nice and friendly.
Except who?
Except you. This might hit hard for resident Mayo media folks. Also to say, saw Norvell. He was lovely. Did not catch Octavia Spencer or Mike McCoy. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres. But I didn't see Octavia Spencer, Coach Lynn. I didn't see Ellen. I assume, I guess, they were just like blips on the radar there. Paul needs to update the rivals list. No, the Chargers social. Big time me.
How?
Like just to say everyone was super friendly and nice, and I don't even want to call this person out. But let's just say like I introduced myself saying hello, and I guess it's all those years of wanting those press conferences. I fucking scarred this guy. But like when people like Sean Merriman or Russell Okun are like having nice, friendly conversations, and any sort of like follow up, not even like they start asking. Literally, like 98% of people were in, and I'm talking about players and ownership, like engaged with me. Like I'm ready to end the discourse, and they are asking me questions. Okay, the only person was like literally get the fuck away from me was Chargers social, the Chargers website Ryder. But listen, I am the hero that the fans needed. That's all. So yeah, I got big time by the social team. Listen, they're too busy making fucking anime. Okay. But yeah, it's all right. The real ones recognized. Social team, meh. It's all right. We're here. Told Mark Davis, spoke truth to power. Like, come on. It was great.
Can you elaborate on that for people who may not know?
I told Mark Davis that it's a conflict of interest that Tom Brady calls the games. Saw that haircut in person. It's as fucking wild as it is on primetime in a box.
I did see you tweet that out, and I don't know if the person who responded to you was a parody account or not, but it made absolutely no sense. They're like, wow, what if Kevin Kisner's in the booth doing NBC coverage during the Ryder Cup or something like that? So what the fuck are you talking about?
I've asked that question. I don't really think that's a conflict of interest, though. I think it's totally different. I think if anything, Kisner being in the booth is a distraction from like being a vice captain, but I don't think, that's not the same. That's not the same unless Kevin Kisner is the embedded locker room correspondent for Team Europe, which still wouldn't be the same, but that's the only way there's like be a leg of conflict of interest on that part. I do think Kisner is calling the Ryder Cup, though, and being a vice captain. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone cares. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like
Webb Simpson can do the job that Kevin Kisner would have done while Kevin Kisner's calling golf. Like, it doesn't matter.
Additionally, it's not like Luke Donald's going to be spilling the secrets to Kisner and then he's going to go up like for the broadcast. It's not really how golf works.
I would agree, but also like Paul McGinley is part of the broadcast. And he's like heavily involved in Team Europe to this day. So, whatever. No, it was great. Left Friday later in the day. yeah, stopped in, just made a couple eat stops on my route. Just lovely. Stayed at a Marriott Courtyard, probably like 40 minutes from the Hall of Fame, and then hit it up the next morning. It's just, yeah, like if one of your players, like a player you like, or if you like a team is going, it's just, I'd almost like, how do I put this? Like Tim, like I would never go on like a team cruise or something like that. Like that to me, like that's like a bridge too far in some weird ways. As weird as I am, I'd never be interested in that. And all the teams do it, and the Chargers, I've seen them advertise that sort of thing. But no, this is like a alumni day. Like I'm sure there were tons of Minnesota Vikings from that era, like beside me, that I just didn't recognize because I don't know their faces. Like there were some guys that I absolutely recognized, but I'm sure there were lots of like mid Vikings from the Jared Allen era or Chiefs that I just didn't know their faces. But the Bolts, they're sort of just congregating together. And even Malcolm Floyd saved me. Not that like security, I'd been there before. They don't give a shit. But the lady's like, you have to sit in your seat. You can't just like walk around. Just because you have like a good seat with access doesn't mean you can just walk around. And Malcolm Floyd's like, no, he's good. He's good. He's fine. I offered to buy Malcolm a drink. We were in line together. He didn't accept. What can you do? For all those high points. But we didn't have good receivers. Vincent Jackson was dead. I was trying to think like who are the best receivers that Phillip had.
Keenan McCardell.
Yeah, no, that was like a year or two. That was like super early, but yeah, sure, that's a name. Keenan McCardell, Chris Chambers, Vincent Jackson,
David Boston, was he there?
No.
Was that the Drew Brees era?
Yeah, that was Drew Brees. That was Brees. Maybe even some Flutie threw a little to Boston. Phillip never threw past to Boston.
It's Gates. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. It was just Gates.
Yeah, I guess it was just Gates, and a lot of like random guys that would Legadou Nane, Sajir Ajajira Tutu.
I forgot about Seji Ajira Tutu. The guy was great.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Phillip walk-offs. Tutu waves ta-ta to the Chiefs secondary.
I guess Keenan Allen would be one of those guys.
Yeah, Keenan, who's working out with the team. I thought I might see Slayer. I didn't see Slayer. Yeah, but I guess he's still on business or trying to figure out business.
Did Denzel Perriman show you any of his guns?
No, didn't see that. That was a weird one. Yeah, that came across during the thing. I didn't address that with ownership. It was a longer time between LaDainian and Gates than I remember the Hall of Fame because I thought it was 5 years ago, but it was way, way longer. And I will say ownership always blessed, had that Saturday small talk, Cam Young, before he even had a great Saturday, Demon Deacon, golf enthusiast, butter him up, like ask like, what golf courses you've been playing lately? Don't just get right to business. You got to like tickle their nuts first a little. But yeah, good. And I'd say like it's a healthy relationship because we probably never interacted during the state. We didn't interact during the Staley era. So I don't know, did Staley coach Gates? He didn't shout him out. I don't know if he did. Because he did mention whatever. Now I'm just in my own head. But yeah, I had a great time. And I'd say if like a player you love is going, like it's an easy drive for me. So it's just easy accessible. Canton, Ohio, like not an easy place to get to. Like it's not the easiest place. It's like an annoying flight and drive, I would assume. Unless you like fly private, then you just can get into that little airport in Akron. But again, it just felt like mid 2000s. I don't even know what you call, but like just say 2010 through like 2015, like Chargers alumni. And I had a lot of fun. And I'm probably not going to do it again for a while.
I have two follow-ups to this. It's more things I need to know about.
Okay.
The digital team that big timed you.
No, it's just like one guy. The Ryder, not even the digital T.
Did he know you, or did you make yourself known to him by being like, "You're a piece of shit, pal"?
No, fuck it. Like, you think you know me, but you don't know me. I am like I am a fucking chameleon. Okay, and I can wear whatever coat needs to be worn. No, like, I mean it. Like, I go nice places. I know how to behave. I know how to, like, speak to people that I've never met in real life before. It's on a keyboard.
Number 2, where did you eat on your way? Well, what was your pit stop? Were they the types of fast food places that would be on Cust, fast food crews?
Where did I eat? I ate on the way there. I left later and I just wanted to drive. On the way there, I just stopped at Culver's and then a road stop to take a piss, and I got some Auntie Anne's, little pretzel nuggets. And on the way home, I stopped at Wing Nuts, which were the best chicken wings I've ever had. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm not like a food pick guy. Looks like a strip club, like from the outside, almost like its exterior, but it was delicious. And on the way there, well, no, I guess not really there, but I also, had some Arby's as well. And then there are a lot of food trucks. Like I said, it was like a festival-y Comic-Con. I've never been to a Comic-Con. I just like use that reference point because it's like just a lot of like booze and people dressed up and shit. And like you see like people in every jersey, every team represented, even if you're like, why the fuck are you here? And it's great because the Vikings fans are hardcore, and Sharp's brother Sterling got in, and Packer fans. So it's just some great fan bases. I'm not saying the Chargers were that, but I think it adds life to the weekend when it's great fan bases. And Eric Allen as an Eagle, and they're world champs. And I saw Jeffrey Lurie's brother. He was showing some kids the new Eagle Super Bowl ring, which is like, man, Lord mercy. But yeah, just good times. Been crushing the Midwest, I guess. Big Ten country this summer, and I'm headed to Daytona in a couple weeks.
You're not going during spring break? Thought that was more your vibe.
No, I'm headed out. I'm going I'm going with some buddies, going to see some NASCAR. Vroom vroom.
Sweet.
So it continues, but yeah, I gotta get. Oh no, it's fucking awesome. Like we're like breathing the exhaust. Like, I don't mean that actually, but we're like down there. We're like in the goods. And it's tons of fun. And after doing a little work excursion for Pizzola and then doing this for myself, it's gonna be fun to get dirty with some of the boys. And I gotta get my wife away or send her to a spa. I think I'm gonna send her to a spa the week before football. But that's about it. I don't know what else. I had a great weekend. And then Cam Young just dominated. And I listened to Cam Young's Friday round a bit on my drive. And then it got called. So that killed some time and crushed some good podcasts. And yeah, Cam Young, let's go. I don't know where else we're supposed to go.
Speaking of podcasts, we do have the Custies dropping this week. It'll either be Wednesday evening or Thursday morning on Mayo Media Network. So please sub to that. Smash the like to the episode while you're here as well. We're going to be coming back to talk about the maiden win for Cam Young at the Wyndham Championship right after this. Fantasy football season is back with a vengeance. You can get yourself the best tools possible this year, be it for season long, DFS, or betting, whatever it is you need, you can get it at 4for4.com/Mayo. The most accurate projections and rankings in the business, 4 different levels. Code Mayo will get you 25% off everything, and you can upgrade. Just the classic, season long, $39 a season. You can go monthly. That's going to cost you double. You should just buy it for the season. And then you get down to the betting package, $249 per season, minus 25%. For code Mayo, you get the props, the sides, the total bets, the tackle props, the player prop tool, the betting Discord, the articles, and everything else included in every other package. Get on it now so you can win your league. 4for4.com/Mayo. Jeffrey, you were there. Cam Young wins. You were on it, along with Baroff, who I think had like 3 winners this weekend. It was a small contingent of Cam Young backers, but they got there. And I looked at the leaderboard going into the final round with Cam Young up by 5. You had 1, 2, and 3 on the leaderboard. And as I'm sitting here, it turned out to be a very profitable week for me as well, as Chris Kirk and Saku Koivu ended up inside the top 5, both catching parts of their each ways. That was nice. But was this the most sweat-free round you can remember in a while? Because the only chasers were going to be your guys anyway.
Yeah, I was a little paranoid about like Mac Messier just for a little, but beautiful. Just flooded the zone last week. Didn't like the shortest bet I had was I think 50, or maybe Bacha was 45, but that just said, let's go. Let's just flood the zone. I could see why a lot of people like want no part of Cam Young, but at the same time, I thought that number was kind of ridiculous because we're trying to bet guys to win. And as dumb as that sounds with Cam Young, I'm a guy, as you know, Pat, like I bet to the ceiling. When you're betting outright golf, like that's how else you're supposed to do it. But yeah, stress-free, magical to watch. Didn't even have to watch much of it because when it seemed like it was just Cam Young, I'd go swimming with the kids and be a dad after abandoning them for a few days to go to Canton. So it was good. Loved it.
You got to pay off the trip and more, I'm guessing.
Oh, babe, listen, hear me out. Now I'm shooting over my skis. Life isn't always this good, and this was insane. But you know, like the endorphins that run through you hitting that and then going the week before. But this was I like a nibble under Paul. A nibble under what Paul brought home this week. So it was lovely, but not enough to do what I said. But it's so crazy that I kind of told my wife after. She'd been asking to like go, we just, we're the family's grown and it's big and we need a little more space. And anyhow, she's been bugging me about a house around the corner because we like the neighborhood. And it's like, nope. And then I relented. Like Cam Young won. I'm like, you know what? Like, we'll go this week. We'll go take a look at it. So now hit a couple golf winners in a row. And now I'm looking at a house, Pat. That's fucking insane. And I assure you the golf winners are not like it doesn't like A plus B doesn't equal C, but it's just okay. I guess let's go look. But yes, it was also at the same time very profitable, despite being nowhere near. I'm not like a pro bettor who thought this was like an advantage bet and smashed it.
Just a guy who wanted Cam Young to win and smash that instead.
Yeah. Just put a little brown bill on it. Oh, in Canada they're brown. And at least where Paul bets it's US dollars. So he hit Cam Young and he gets like 30% more because he did it with US dollars. So that looked even better. Congrats to Paul. But I'll take my Canadian money.
Did you watch any of it on Sunday, or were you still just listening on the radio? What's PGA Tour radio like going back from actually listening to the Open radio, where they're doing emails from across the world?
PGA Tour radio was PGA Tour radio. No, I was home on Saturday night. Like the ceremony was Saturday at 1 to like 4, and then I just got in the car and hauled ass, stopped in Buffalo for dinner. Was home by I don't know, like 11. And that's with like a lollygagging stop and then a Target stop. So I took my time. PGA Tour radio was fine. I wasn't listening yesterday, but I enjoyed listening throughout the weekend when I was. I don't like it is what it is. I don't know what they're doing in a blowout. Like that's like calling like a 16-1 baseball game. Like who cares?
Yeah, we haven't had many of these this season. This is sort of the Scheffler problem, where Scheffler just is inevitable that no one really wants to watch. It's funny that this is how Cam Young ends up winning, because it actually makes a ton of sense that this is how he became the 1,000th unique winner of a PGA Tour event in the history of the PGA Tour, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that he got his win. I'm not upset that I wasn't there on him, because I'm not a Cam Young bettor like a lot of people. But now we don't have to talk about this anymore. I guess that means Max Grazerman wins this week or Fleetwood wins this week. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Cam Young with like the Wilt Chamberlain 1,000 picture was just so pathetically. It was just like a pathetic look from Tour Social. Not that I have this social wars going. Shout out to all like the kids working the socials. This Eric is like a grown. It's just very weird. That's all. You like tell someone like, hey, what's up, man? Like even spotting like this guy, like who even knows who he is? Like, what's up, man? Like, I read your work. I hear you in the press conferences. Keep up the good work. Like, just total no sell. And then, like, just tried to get him to look at me like, you just want to let you know I'm that stranger from the internet who bugged you and your friends about the press conferences for years. So thank you. Even though I think that was signing Jim Harbaugh that made the Chargers realize people want to see press conferences. But yeah. So literally, that's all. And I've met, like, I'm the type of dude, not that it is like relative, but on that sphere, like Jay Glazer talked to me for like 4 minutes. Like, what are we talking about? That's all. Like, everyone was lovely. And the only person who was like an icebox was the fucking guy who writes for Chargers.com. Fuck that. And thinks I enter anything like that confrontational just doesn't know me. That Mark Davis thing, that's like for fun. That's different. That's like leveling up. But like a Chargers.com writer with what, like probably like 1,000 Twitter followers. Nah. Paul. See, Paul's writing away. Okay. It's easy. It's done. Paul's gotten lazy with this anyway, so he'll just pick the low-hanging fruit, and there we go. Paul, rival.
Yeah, Paul, are you now the biggest rival
In the
of Geoff?
category is my rival.
He's calling you out as being his biggest rival because you're not taking it seriously enough.
Oh, he's not even listening. Damn, I wouldn't have said it. Nah, it doesn't work if you can't hear me.
Paul's on 20-second delay.
Okay, good.
So he's just getting it right now as you went back to talking about the Chargers from the Wyndham Championship.
Yeah, Cam Young winning by 10. Oh, here's the other thing. I don't know if you saw this, Pat. Cam Young, when being asked about like never winning before and all those close calls, he had said that he's played great on Sundays. He's never let one get away. And for the most part, I would agree. Except which one?
Valspar losing to Bellotti?
Yes. He duck hooked it in the trees on 17 at the Valspar in the lead. So I don't think that was listen, he had to say anything to get him through the next 24 hours. So I'll give him that. But as a Cam Young follower, truther, stan, I agree. He has played great on so many Sundays and just gotten beaten. But he maybe that's the one he literally had put out of his memory. And I'll give him that. But there was one, Cam. But it doesn't matter anymore. To your point, Pat, we don't have to talk about it. And when you've hit 2 in a row and it's now an elevated event, there might only be one thing for me to do. Cam Young, Mr. 1000. Tommy Fleetwood, Mr. 1001.
Not you don't feel like it's a bottle of ketchup situation that now that it's out, the Cam Young's just not going to win 4 in a row?
I don't mind Cam Young at 40, 45, and that 40 to 50 maybe. And Tommy, I don't actually like. I'm seeing him like 24. I'd hope no one is betting him this week, and maybe we can drift a bit, and then maybe I'd have that conversation, but I'm only looking at like a 5 guys right now, and I'm going to pick 3 of them. Yeah, nothing even down the board either. Yeah.
I saw a lot of Cam Young Ryder Cup type stuff, and he's been a name that we've had on the back burner, but you need to play well in order to get on the team if you're going to be Cam Young. There was people putting him on the team after winning a super dosed Corn Ferry event at the Wyndham Championship. Like, let's calm down a little bit. Let's see you do something against some real players.
Yeah, he's now on the front burner, Pat. It is front burner, and I would go as so far to say Keegan should go out with Goddard and Cam. You got, like, last week he went out with Bradley. I give Keegan a lot of shit. I think they are behind the 8 ball. I think playing captain, it's too big on both fronts that both will suffer. That being said, the one thing that I think Keegan, and people will tell me this is the most important thing where anything else doesn't matter, that if he's going to execute this is all you want out of the captaincy. I think his position in the game on the tour actually will make for the most best informed captain's picks we might get in a long time. Like, he is in it. He is in it. He's beside these guys on the range. Maybe not regularly. He's in his own bubble, but if his ears have been percolated this year, which I assume they have, I think no one is in a better position to make the decision than Keegan Bradley. So, and if he hits a home run, then maybe, that can make up for the faults that I will see coming wearing both hats during the actual event and in the weeks leading up. But Cam Young, he's on, he has now put himself at the front of the list. In some ways, maybe it's unfair to Chris Goddard that now they could be running closer than Goddard's run deserves. But Cam, I guess, has expectation and pass equity here.
Don't forget, he won the New York Open as an amateur as well. At Bethpage in 2017. Watch out. They're going to get Blickel on the team next if they hold it at Oakmont or something like that.
Do you know? In some ways, some people might say there's not room for both Cam and Goddard.
I don't see why there wouldn't be. I'm not sitting here in pen and writing them in at the moment, but when I take a look, if it's between Harmon, Novak, and those two, and Matt McNeely, Harmon, Novak, and those two, why not those two?
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have Spieth in this at all. Sam Burns just keeps falling back. I think I have a team that has both of them potentially right now. But they both have to, Cam Young has to follow it up. Like, Goddard followed it up. And that's what sort of gave it a bit more rocket fuel than just winning. So now we're going to a strong field. Cam Young has to follow it up. The way he is putting, I believe he was a course record holder has a course record at Bethpage. I think Cam Young and Goddard might be exactly what the team needs.
Who are the other two with them? You would have Cantlay and who? Ben Griffin, who had another nice finish at the Wyndham. Rallied, too, to make the cut, then ended up inside the top 10, I think.
I'm now
11th, sorry.
I'm now having to write it down because I'm an idiot.
Well, there's 8 that are going to be on the team. It's Scotty, Xander, Spawn, Henley, Bryson, English, Thomas, and Morikawa. Then there's 4 spots.
No, then JT. So then you have 9.
That I said JT. He's Thomas. That's what the
sorry
JT is for.
Sorry, me trying to do my own homework and listening to someone. I listen. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I can't lead Cam and Goddard.
And Griffin? So no Keegan? You don't think that Keegan will be on the team?
Cantley, Cam, Goddard, and Keegan.
I do think you need to keep a spot open here for someone who surges the next 3 weeks. Because that's going to happen. and that guy's going to be on the team.
Of course, but it's like someone who surges who isn't part of this, like that would have to be Finau or Spieth. I don't think
Ricky.
like Matt McCarty
Agreed.
can surge this. It almost like he'll get bonked like Glover got bonked.
I would agree. It's fine. Glover is still ahead of Goddard in these standings. Someone like Berger could do it because Southwind is obviously a really good course for Berger. He's won here twice. You know, one of the better course histories on the board. If he just randomly wins a playoff event and then plays well through Eastlake, you'd be like, oh, then the Cam Young spot probably goes to Daniel Berger.
It has to be followed up because everything is pretty short. Like in the same way, you know, Kitayama didn't even play bad, you know, I think last week.
I also don't quite understand why Kitayama gets to beat up on a bunch of like scrubs. No talk. Cam Young beats up on a bunch of scrubs on the team.
So that was the point I was about to make, as much as I like Cam Young. And then Kitayama, what did he finish this past week? I'm just going to randomly say 20th. And then all of a sudden, he's not even in the conversation this morning. When like last week, it was like, oh, what about Kitayama? Like, I don't know, but for all the shit that I think I'm going and how much I think the week will work against Keegan, I do believe he is in and out. His position as the player of that status and being in all of this, I really think he's in a great spot to make the right decisions.
Did you watch the end of the broadcast on Sunday? So Davis Thompson needed to 3-putt to make the playoff, or needed to not 3-putt to make the playoffs, and burned his first putt by like 6-7 feet. Now he's coming back down the hill and misses it. So he finished 71st in the FedEx Cup standings. It sucks.
That does suck. I actually took the kids out for dinner and ice cream. All 3 kids without mom, because I was just in a good mood. And again, I was away for dinner and ice cream. And I left after Davis Thompson made a nice putt to put him in the playoff. And I didn't even check it. Pardon my misremembering. Henley, has he ever made a Ryder Cup?
Henley? I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll say no, right? Spawn, no. English? Has Harris English ever played on a Ryder Cup?
I don't think so, actually.
It's really funny. If you ask me about the Goobers whose back-ended...
Yes. Harris English was on the Whistling Straits team.
If you've asked me about the Goobers who've played on the back ends of Europe, I would guarantee you I wouldn't get it wrong, at least from our era. But the Americans, I don't know. It just blurs.
It's because it's the same 9 guys every time, and then you kind of like switch up 3 of them. Basically what Europe has turned into now.
I guess. Yeah, no, there's a lot to play for. I think Cam Young automatically being on the team after winning the Wyndham, well, like, I think he's perfect for it. I could see why people like are bothered by that. I think I could see why you are like, how is this calling balls and strikes fairly at all here?
Okay, there's 2 ways you can interpret that. That I don't think that him just winning the Wyndham Championship really means anything. It's nice to see him get a close, but it's probably more impressive that he was 4th at the U.S. Open, has 6 top 10s in majors over the past 4 seasons, like that, and the profile fit. It's the same reason that I think that if I was backing the USA, that I would want them to take Goddard over some of these other guys. Whether he's good or not, I have no idea. And Cam Young kind of fits the bill at the same time. They have the right skill set to play Beth Page in the way that it's going to be set up versus some of the other guys that are on the fringes that, maybe overall, like, would you take them to win like more tournaments? Would I take Brian Harmon 1v1 to win more tournaments over the next 2 years than Cam Young? I probably wouldn't, but it would be pretty close. It'd be like an even money on both sides type bet. But at this particular course, I would probably want Cam Young, but I don't think that just winning the Wyndham should be like, oh yeah, he's on the team now.
No. But at the same time, what's funny is, like, I think a lot of us in the last month, made the joke that Chris Goddard became what we all thought Cam Young was on many facets. And then going even further back, Pat, me and you had the discussion probably 2 months ago being like, Cam Young at least for me, and I'm more of like a stan than you are, but I think you agreed, or might have even been your point, was to say you didn't even think he had to win a tournament to make the team.
I did say that. And I agree, but he needs to continue. Like, doing it against that field is one thing. That's good news, obviously. But him no-showing the playoffs and just kind of being crappy, I think takes him out of contention.
Of course, and I'll even go as far to say if Patrick Cantlay gets dog walked through the whole FedEx Cup, then
you're willing to concede your point that he will not be on the team?
That I'm willing to concede my point. Yeah, he's in a dark territory. But what I don't understand with the Cantlay discourse is well, a couple things. I do think people, when trying to make their Ryder Cup team, they do, and I've probably been guilty of it before, or at certain points in the calendar year, you do mix it up or have a conflict in that you are creating like an all-pro team. And a Ryder Cup team and like the all-pro team of American or European golfers is sometimes not exactly what they are trying to take, if that makes any sense. Well, in theory, you think that's what they're trying to take. Certain players at certain roster spots have different roles. And I do like Pat, I've come on the show. I rail against Patrick Cantlay so much. He is not one of my guys. I think I
sounds like he's one of your guys.
No, I have defended him because I feel like someone has to call balls and strikes fairly as it pertains to the Patrick Cantlay discourse. And for me, it's like the guy's 14th in points, and people talk about him like he's 2023 Justin Thomas. And it's that I think is so off base, and like they're not even paying attention.
Again, you continue to overrate how well Patrick Cantlay's been playing this year.
I think people have overrated how bad he's been playing.
He's been pretty bad.
How is he 14th in points and entered the Wyndham and 21st in the FedEx Cup?
The same way that fucking Ricky Fowler is in the playoffs.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, if you're going to point to FedEx Cup, like, yeah, he's doing better than Ricky. That's a low bar to clear. And the only reason that he's doing it is because he gets to play in these no-cut events.
I don't think the FedEx... There's a lot of guys who just play in pretty much no-cut events.
Yeah, but some of them actually do things in them and play well. Like, not a backdoor T10.
I honestly don't understand. There's been like a decent result almost in every month except the last blip.
Like, when was the last time someone made the Ryder Cup team missing the cut in 3 or 4 majors? I don't have the answer to that. I would be curious.
But listen, for a lot of guys, that would be fucking disqualifying. But I feel like Patrick Cantlay's barometer has never been how he does in majors. Like, no one goes into like when Patrick Cantlay performs in a major, I feel like that's more of a surprise to us. Like, despite not winning, like Tommy Fleetwood doesn't win, but I think we are all pretty surprised if he like plays horrible in a major.
If you look back at the past 2 years, there's really nothing separating all that much Max Grazerman and Patrick Cantlay in terms of results.
There's
Except
probably
Grazerman
not
has
much
a boatload of
separating
second place finishes.
There's probably not separating Max Grazerman from a lot of guys.
But mainly Cantlay. They have the kind of the same MO where they're kind of okay every single week. And then you have like the blips up, they don't win.
I can't fathom wanting to take another rookie as your 12th man.
Well, how do I know you? How do you know that I want to take a rookie? Maybe I want to take Sam Burns instead. Maybe I want to take a guy who can putt instead of Patrick Cantlay.
Right. Listen, here it's all on the line in the FedEx. My DMs are open if people want to bet on Patrick Cantlay not making the team.
See, you keep going back to that. Who's saying that Patrick? I never told you Patrick Cantlay
not you,
making
but
the team. I'm telling you that he probably shouldn't make the team.
That's fine, and I'm not saying I didn't. Pat, if I wanted to bet you, I'd have done what you do for Tim. But I know you didn't say he's not making the team.
But what you're doing is you're framing my argument to be like, get in my DMs if you want to make the bet. So now you're framing it like I'm saying that.
No. I'm talking
what you're doing.
I'm talking to the community. And if you go look at the replies on Ben Coley's tweet, Brian Kirshner's tweet, a Christian Powers tweet. There are so many people.
Now, are these real people who will make your bets?
Well, they're
or are
not
these
live bots.
That casual, generic golf fans who don't have a fucking clue.
No, they're real people.
Are they ones who are going to bet? Or are
Yeah.
they just like there's a big difference between people who want to bet on golf and generic golf fan.
I agree, but there's enough of them. Hold on. There were enough of them that I noticed in the replies who are real betting golf fans that I then will take the stand that if any of the real betting golf fans want to bet, just throw it in my DMs. I already have a few.
What are the odds that you're giving on this?
But depends what they are. The most I'd give you is plus 130.
I'd want more than that if I was going to bet Cantlay not on the team.
But I am not looking for the people I am looking for the people who seem hyper confident that he's not making the team, who are real betting golf fans. And that's what caught me off guard. And that's why I'm having this opinion.
If there's one thing I took away from the Wyndham is they should take Saku Koivu instead. That guy's great. Take him.
Honestly, both teams should have to take an amateur.
That's
it
an
would
interesting
be such
wrinkle,
a cool wrinkle for the Ryder Cup.
Jackson Koivu got himself into Napa with another top 10, back-to-back top 10s to end the year. On 18, he hit his drive. He hit basically Cam Young's drive. But this dude, Koivu can, I guess Cam Young is putting now too. It's been a big part of his turnaround. But Koivu can putt, and he just hits fairways. He's going to be legit.
Oh, so good. What a player. The eyeball test. Yeah, let's go.
He has to focus on the Walker Cup, not the Ryder Cup, though.
Yeah, just lovely. Overall, yeah, it's the best. The people most interested in the FedEx Cup in order. Okay,
we're not there yet.
No, but we are because it's relative, and it's just
we haven't taken the second break yet.
But I'm not even talking about this week. I'm just saying.
And we sandwich it all together. Segmented.
The players like the Ryder Cup intrigue is one of the only highlights about the FedEx Cup. The intrigue around the Ryder Cup. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, you'll have more to talk about the FedEx Cup and how much you hate it, you and Tim, which is great news for me going this week because now it's been reverse cursed in my favor. We're going to get a great tournament in Memphis. So the FedEx Cup, what Jeff hates about it, and the bets coming up right after this. Look, I don't bounce back exactly the way that I used to when I was 20 years old. If I'm going out drinking, even just having a few glasses of wine, I wake up in the morning, got a scorching headache. It doesn't really work out well for the plans that I need to have starting at 6 a.m. every day when the kids want to get up, go outside, go to the playground, ride a bike, whatever it might be. I need to be there to do that with them. And it used to be I can either have a great night or just have a struggle the next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. The ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle the rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for the rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly and you'll feel the best tomorrow. The kids are actually away this weekend, so I actually had a few glasses of wine before recording the research show that I had to wake up super early to do in the morning. And trust me, you don't want to have a real bad hangover with lights in your face and you're trying to sound energetic. Woke up this morning and felt awesome. Was able to record the show as early as possible. Then I went for a run afterwards, came back and recorded this ad. The final days of summer are here for you to enjoy. Whether you're heading to the beach, camping in the woods, or squeezing one last vacation road trip, do not forget to bring ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink. Drink a pre-alcohol before drinking and enjoy every day of summer to the fullest. Go to zbiotics.com/PatMayo to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Pat Mayo at checkout. ZBiotics is packed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/PatMayo and use code PatMayo at checkout for 15% off. Coming back, ZBiotics, Jeff. Lifesaver is what I'll talk about. But the FedEx Cup, not a lifesaver. Want to remind everyone again, I will be in Memphis doing post-round shows from the course with Rick on the PGA Tour. I think YouTube channel, through the app, whatever it might be. And, actually, this is something for the audience. I want you in the comment section after the live, just so I can go back and track it pretty easily. Would you rather to have a NFL Survivor pool this year that's a $50 buy-in, but has 5 times the entries, or structure it like the one and done where it's $250, but again, 5 times fewer the entries to go against in this pool? Now, I'm on team 250, Jeff. I know that you would be on team 250, but where do you think the people will land on this? I need to know.
I mean, I'm on max enter team 250. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, especially in Survivor. I don't know. Whatever. But I game if it's 50, I'll max enter at 50. Like, I'm game for whatever the community wants.
Well, put it this way. It's going to be, I want to get $1 million prize pool guaranteed for this contest. Now, in order to do that with a $50 buy-in, you're looking at like 20,000 entries. If you're doing it with a $250 buy-in, it's like 4,400. Which I feel like, it's just like the one and done. I feel like I always have a chance to win the one and done, and Survivor would be no different.
Yep, for sure. I'm trying to, it's that time of year. I don't know. I just left the pool, finally. Trying to cut down.
What?
I just got out of I'm just trying to consolidate. Just some pools that I've been like thinking about quitting for like 8 years. I finally quit.
Are they just straight up fantasy ones?
Yeah.
I have my home keeper league and a couple industry ones that I have to be in, but I've been doing a bunch of best ball ones on Underdog. So code Mayo and Underdog.
Oh, love best ball Underdog. And you want to know something? That just my biggest fail of the weekend was realizing I could have just been lying in that hotel on Friday night. Just me, Lube, and just beating off to Underdog lineups.
There you go. Code Mayo. And maybe /Jeff for OnlyFans Underdog content.
No, I just meant like I cannot believe I forgot to do that. Like, you just said it. I was there. I could have like literally just sat in that Culver's, just smashing lineups. Oh my God. Just drafting. Oh my God. I could have gotten in a car accident just drafting. Oh my God.
69 players in the field at the FedEx Cup. Rory's taking a bye week. I'm actually shocked more guys at the top don't take the bye week, because this week isn't relevant to them. In fact, with the way that it's structured now, these next 2 weeks aren't really relevant to them outside of the outrageous prize pools that you get for winning these events. But with the Tour Championship changing its rules that whoever wins at Eastlake wins the FedEx Cup, they must have got a commitment from most of the top guys that they would come and play the first 2 events and not just skip them and go straight to Eastlake.
In a perfect world, the top players like should not even be playing this week. It should be a bye for like the top 20. But you get how golf works in the circus. They're not like advertising to a local community. Like when the John Deere does its advertising, it's like none of the top 20 players are invited. They're just not coming. You can't like announce that those players cannot come to the event. It's obviously attached to St. Jude, which I'll be doing some charity because, I'm hitting winners and we're going to hit another one. Well, no, but anyhow,
I'm waiting. I'm going to be like Cam. I'm going to wait for you to make your picks and just bet who you're betting.
No, not this week.
That is a better strategy for me.
Not when I'm going for 3 in a row. History, when I go for 3 in a row, it's when I give up because I don't think it's possible and I just do what I want to do. And that's what's going to happen this week, I think. But it's a flawed. We all understand, what the FedEx Cup is up against, Pat, because it's not as important as the majors. It's not as important as the players. It's essentially like asking us to get hyped up for like week 15 of NFL, which we do. So maybe this is a bad comp, but there's no playoff where like the casual fans of the sport, like interest wanes, if that makes any sense. Like it is such the disconnect, and maybe even calling it a playoff is stupid because that makes us think about other sports.
I don't have as big of a problem with this 3-run stretch as you do. I really like this tournament, in honesty. I like the Southwind tournament. This is my favorite of the 3 events because you still have 70 guys. I mean, one of the problems with Live and some of these signature events is that you don't get enough people, but all these people earn their way to be able to play in this event. Now, how they got their FedEx Cup points, like someone like Ricky, who essentially got all of his by being invited to signature events and piling up free points, would be kind of shitty if I was on the outside looking in for one of these guys that didn't get to play in the signature events. But there's a lot on the line this week. All these guys got their tour card for next year, but the top 50 get into all the signature events next year. So there's a lot on the line for the like 25 guys near the bottom. We still get the full field. I really like this course. When we start whittling it down is when I don't want to say stop caring, but I have far less interest in what's going on. But as you kind of pointed out, it is at best, the 7th most important golfing event of the season, and it's the playoffs, and it's a 3-week stretch. You got the 4 majors, the players, and I'd say Ryder / President's Cup. Obviously, Ryder Cup above President's Cup, but even in a President's Cup year, it's still more meaningful than these 3 events. But just as tournaments themselves, if you just choose, maybe you're right. Maybe if you just got rid of, I guess it's a way to hype it up and make them seem a bit more important. But I'd even put these behind like Memorial and Bay Hill and Riv.
Would it be possible to label like certain, like the Memorial a playoff event and keep it in its strategy and have it relative to what can happen now?
No, because you get a bunch of people that weren't invited to play there in the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yes. And listen, I'll speak out of both sides of my mouth a bit this week, maybe lots, maybe I do that often. I am with you. This week is very palatable. It's essentially like a supercharged, elevated event, but like you've earned your way into it. All these guys have had seasons that they've earned it. This is a nice event, and it supports the hospital. This one works. This one works. But to my other point is the FedEx Cup drama. Like the people that care about the FedEx Cup the most, in no particular order.
FedEx Cup, FedEx.
Ryder Cup Bubble Boys. This is not in order because the people who care about it the most are probably, to your point, the mid-level tour pro who can secure a spot in every elevated next year. That's who cares the most. Actually, players' wives, all the wives, even the elite player wives care the most. Then it's mid-level tour pros, and then it's Bubble Boys. That is the order of who gives a shit, like inside the tour about these next few weeks. Mid-level pros have the most to gain. An elite high-end player who has a gas-canned FedEx Cup, it's a fart in the wind. Doesn't even matter. No one cares. Like, they all want to win money. They're competitive. They want to play well. Duh. But if like the 5th player in the world has the worst FedEx Cup, no one notices. No one cares. They don't even care. They still want gobbles of money. It does not matter. It doesn't resonate. Mid-level tour pros are the only people fighting in this thing.
I tend to agree, but I think that you're also trying to judge it like people have to care about it. People are, at the moment the Open Championship ended, people stopped caring about golf. This is something to get headlines in August when everything is dead anyway. You get everyone to come. This is what makes this a bigger deal than the Heritage or the Honda or Torrey Pines or whatever it is. You get all the good players in one place. You get some TV ratings. You get a big sponsor. It's an extra way to make money. That's it. That's all it's for. And the tournament's independent of themselves. I mean, I just sat down and watched the Wyndham. Why wouldn't I care about this?
Of course. And there's no doubt, Pat, next week, the final 2 legs, it's like a 90% chance when you sit down with like 6 holes left on Sunday, it's going to be great names. And they're going to be fighting for a tournament, and nothing sets up the possibility of Rory versus Scotty more than 50 or 30 guys. And the FedEx Cup, it's almost like we want change. We want something new. if they get Scotty versus Rory finally, they won't change anything. Like they'll be like, this is what we do this for. And I'd have to be like, I think they're right. This is what they do this for. And you're right too, Pat. It doesn't it's just, I don't know. I'm not telling their advertising like is so makes like not just the hardcore sports fan, the way they talk about it, the way they promote it is just so insulting to even casual sports fans. We're 20 plus years into this thing. The sample size is there. That like it just doesn't fucking resonate with sports fan or golf fan. It hardly resonates. And this is what I say every year. And I'm not going to do. It's the only rant that I'll repeat and be out. I've said for a couple years. If I'm live golf, I don't know how the FedEx Cup doesn't scare the shit out of me. We want to talk about case studies. It's right in front of you. This thing has had great fields, better fields than you'd ever have, as strong as your top is. It's the fields you dream of. They don't work. This is super fields, super purses on network TV. 20 plus years in, it still hasn't resonated. If I'm Liv, if I'm Saudi, if I'm anyone who wants to fund this thing, the FedEx Cup should scare the shit out of you as to what your future might be.
The ratings for this do pretty well.
Versus
standard. I mean, listen, you say you like how they talk about it. Is it alienating to both casual and people who pay attention? I don't think any of that matters when the check gets cut. That's why you talk about it all year long. It's for the money.
FedEx Cup is paying that money. You're going to talk about it like it's the most important thing in the world, even if it's a made-for-TV event. And sometimes made-for-TV events resonate, Pat. You know, like in Canada, TSN in the 80s started this World Junior thing, and they made this thing a TV thing, and it became the most Canadiana thing like we've seen. You could write a book on it. And then there's made-for-TV events that just stay made-for-TV events and never come out of it. And that's sort of what this is. And I mean, the John Deere ratings did well. Of course, this is going to do well. This shit's going to pop. The smartest thing they did is wrapping it up before football. Give them credit for that. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me just wishes they had the courage. Like the NBA got Indiana versus Oklahoma.
Okay.
What's worse than that? Like that would be like us getting Brian Harmon versus, like, we know why they don't do match play, but someone should have the courage to be like, you know what? It's actually right for what.
It's not though, because even if you got Scotty versus Rory in match play still remains unwatchable.
No, see, this is where I have it different, and this is where
this is where you didn't look at the ratings for fucking match play.
No, this is where I've long said many years they should turn it into so much more. It should be like a celebration of golf. Top amateur matches should take place that day. Top women's matches should take that place. Disability matches should take place. It should be like club championships around the country, around the world are being decided by match play. Like you could have maybe a couple NBA stars in a match. Like they could do so much more with it to take this made for TV thing and make it so much more than this little idea that you think I'm locked into. That
yeah, but you're talking about something that's just never going to happen. So I mean, why not have them shoot golf out of cannons too? Like,
no,
it's not happening.
You talk about it like getting two top women, getting two top like you talk about that like that's like it's a moon landing. Like it's actually a very simple concept.
I get that it's simple, but they're not going to do it.
Well, I'm giving them an idea, and I'm not known as an ideas guy. And I think it's a pretty fucking good one to sort of combat what is the elephant in the room rematch play, which I acknowledge. It can struggle with TV. There's not a lot of action. I think there are ways to manufacture it and make it special and acknowledge the sport in its purest form that people who golf and golfers all recognize and are competing in that format in championships at every level except the top one. It's the only thing Liv is figure it out. And I know it's like whatever, but they're like, yeah, I mean, we'll do a match play. Like, fuck. And I know no one's watching and whatever, but I'm just saying they're the only place to get it. It's sad.
It works out easier for them at the same time, though, because they have 16 teams.
Yeah, of
And then
course.
16 makes it an easy bracket. Where is the cutoff for what you would have for a tour championship? Is it the top 4 guys? Is it the top 8 guys? Do you take 12 and give 4 of them a bye? Do you go 16? What constitutes getting into those? Is it the
Agreed.
first 2 legs of the playoffs? Like, there's a lot of weird logistics, and the whole point is to get more people money. That's the whole point of this thing.
I agree. And honestly, I think live and the team golf is the most pathetic thing in the sport, other than, well, no, won't go there. The most pathetic thing in the sport. And I would somewhat embrace team golf, Pat, like how Liv does it, if they actually embraced it. And by that, I mean, like if alt shot was like a regular thing they did. Or sometimes or there was a round where like it was like 4-man alt shot. Like actually make these guys be teams in the cauldron of the sport, not like in this fake fucking thing. Like I want real team golf. There's a way to do team golf that I think could be entertaining. I assure you, Liv is not doing that. They're going the farthest way. They've gone the farthest pole away from what entertaining team golf could be.
There's music.
Live Chicago this week, Live Indy. They got a big finish through the Midwest, just like me. They're on their Midwest tour.
Yeah, maybe you can hit some winners on Live.
Maybe John Rahm hasn't won this year. Didn't he do that last year? Like he did not win all year, and then he ran their playoffs or ran their.
I don't know. I feel like Neiman wins every tournament. So as Cust told us, the only person having a better year than Neiman is Scotty Scheffler.
Listen, it's unfortunate. I mean, the majors matter, and that's a bugaboo, but we can't even like Neiman's having a really nice year, but it's still hard.
That's great. I'm sure someone won 3 times on Corn Ferry.
That's what I mean.
They're having a nice year.
It's hard to, it's like I see, like because of the situation, we still like it's hard to rank it. But if someone wanted to tell me Neiman is like the 8th best golfer in the world this year, like 6th or 8th, I'm not going to fight them on that. I like him enough that I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll give him.
Yeah, but like Bryson and Rahm just through the majors have had better years than him.
Totally.
Hatton has had a way better year than Neiman.
Totally. You're right. You can make the case still just the 4th best golfer on Live. Like you could argue to someone who isn't a golf fan, doesn't follow golf. You could easily make someone believe, even after someone argues pro Neiman, that Neiman's actually just not even the top 3 golfer on Live. It's weird.
He is on Live. It's just when we play against everyone else.
Sorry. Yes. And I'm so mad it didn't happen in Montreal. Like I am desperate for the bone to be thrown where the President's Cup can include Live.
Hey, like Rory gave them the bone. Have a Live team on TGL. There you go. Congratulations. Phil, Bryson, and Hatton. There you go. There's your 3. Made for TV.
That comes down to like the PGA Tour still owns TGL.
Yeah, but they want it to be successful too. Like that's costing them money. They need it to make money, and that would be a decent way to do it.
You know what? I think that is a good maybe like rabbit in the back pocket to pull if it sucks in year 2. Like because it's could wane. Like we've seen it enough. But maybe their momentum grows and they feel like we still don't need Live. But it could be like if they realize this TGL thing isn't like as viable, we swear, sort of got a shotgun start, no pun intended, with the year 1. Maybe we'll see. I was impressed. Like I didn't think people would care about TGL after like 2 months, and they held. So good for them.
Let's get to St. Jude, talk about the odds. It's the top 70, the top 50 move on to next week for the BMW Championship. After that, it's the top 30 to Eastlake, and the winner at Eastlake, no starting strokes, ends up winning the FedEx Cup. So it's very interesting to me if you are a Bill Haas, Brant Snedeker, Chris Kirk, Billy Horschel type player that gets on a run here. It's now weighted back that you can shoot the best 72 holes at Eastlake and end up, who's going to win at Eastlake? Patrick Cantlay. You watch. Sure. He'll be like 29th in the FedEx Cup standings, 2 terrible weeks, and then just wins at Eastlake.
Yeah. Or the thing is, what he's going to do, or it's going to be the other way where it's like, people are yelling, he's not top 10, he's not top 10, and he's going to like finish 7th at Eastlake. We're like, well, what does that even mean?
Yeah, nothing.
Like,
Although
yeah.
without the starting strokes, I would say that it probably means a little bit more. But Scotty's the overwhelming favorite here. Coolbet.com if you want to get in, and I'll have some boosts and make the cut parlays up there as well that are boosted in the lobby at coolbet.com. You can play that if you are in Canada outside of Ontario. So sorry, Jeff, but I want you to bring up the without Scotty market on another site for me as I go through these, okay?
Yeah, I was there a moment ago. They sort of just put the lock up on them, but let's see if they refreshed.
All right, so Scotty's the favorite, plus 275, plus 280, so shorter than 3-1 to win with no Rory in the field. Xander's second at 14, Tommy at 22-24. You got Thomas at 22-24, Henley at 25, Ludwig at 28, same as Cantlay, same as Fitz, same as Hovland, same as Hideki, who is the defending champion. Then you got Colin also at 28. You're going to find a variation across all books of those guys. So that's what the big 12 or so in this field in terms of betting odds. When I did the research show, shout out to the rabbit hole, betsportsgolf.com/Mayo to get 25% off. I did the walkthrough for the first time on the research show using the rabbit hole. Xander did stick out, as did Henley. Ludwig, weirdly enough, because when I started to take a look at what do you have to do here and what is easy here versus other courses, chipping here is very easy versus other courses that maybe if we mitigate the worst part of Ludwig's game, the ball striking can take over and all of a sudden he can putt again like he can do. We know that he can do it, that he's finally at pretty good odds.
I mean, he's been here a bit before, but as I mentioned, there's like 5 guys I'm swimming around. I'm going to probably bet 3 of them. He's one of them, and his Viking Cup partner in crime just behind is the other when you take about maybe taking that chipping out of it. So, yeah, that's the direction. That is the direction I'm looking.
Do you remember last year that Hideki, we had, at least I had Hideki.
Yep.
It's probably like the last outright I actually hit. But he was up by, I think, 6 at the turn, and it was tied very quickly thereafter.
Yes, Hideki as well. That didn't end up being sweat-free. They never are, which was kind of shocking about Cam yesterday. And then he bogeyed the first. You're like, here we go. But then boom, 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 boom. Last year I was on a back-to-back here because I hit Rye and Hideki. So this time of year, I guess some back-to-back. I don't see the 3-peat coming or the 3-run coming, but let's get it. Hideki made a double bogey on this and a triple bogey on the same hole on Thursday and Friday at the Wyndham last week.
Yeah, he was almost last in the field in driving. Still did okay at the Wyndham, but
so that's great. In the water this week if he does that?
Oh, yeah. Water everywhere at Southwind.
Yeah.
And his driving has been pitiful all year. But
check out the research show. But who won before was it Glover? Like Hideki then Glover?
Yeah, Glover won back-to-back Wyndham and this course the year before. And then who was it the year before that? It was either Justin Thomas or Brooks won here. Justin Thomas won here. Abe Answer won in that playoff over Burns and Hideki. It may have been him.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that lines up.
You know what? I don't even need to check the research show. I can just click on course data and see what we got for Southwind here. Let's see. It was Zalatoris beat Straka in the playoff, which we also hit. So I've hit 2 of the past 3 winners here. Good news.
Yeah. Okay, so we like this place. We know what we're doing.
But it was a WGC and then it turned into the first playoff event. Previous to that, I think the last year that it was just a standard PGA Tour event is when Dustin had the walk-off eagle when he beat Putnam. Jarred it from the middle of the fairway. And then Berger had won the 2 years previous to that. But since it was a WGC, you got Brooks and JT who ended up winning. But since and Answer ended up having it. But since it's been a playoff event, Zalatoris, Glover, and Hideki, all guys who would have been 30 to 75. I don't know what Glover was on the back end of his repeat. I doubt it was low, but Zalatoris, I vividly remember 28, 35 to 1 last year. Hideki, I think, was 35 to 1. So if Scheffler doesn't win, and Scheffler was 4th a year ago, the year before that, you had Glover beat Cantlay in the playoff, Rory, Tommy just after him down the board. But it's not like the superstars win this event every single year, despite everyone besides Rory being here.
I agree, but I still I'm not going beyond 50.
Well, it's hard to go beyond 50 because everyone's odds are like 50 or below. Like the best player beyond 50 is Akshay. Like you want to bet Denny, he's 50 to 1.
Yeah, that's tough.
I want to bet Spawn. What's the best without number for Spawn you can find?
Well, one of the sites betting without is down, so I'm at the other one I can get, and which you actually have access to.
Is 35. I
yeah.
looked at that earlier.
So that's
so
what
would I
I
rather
said.
bet him at 50 with Scotty or 35 without? I'd rather bet him 50 with Scotty.
Yeah, probably. I'm not good at this. It's just like the math has to feel right for me. I try to ask Pizzola and
it's all vibes when it comes down to it. But we've had weeks where the number's essentially the same, so you have to go look at it.
Yes.
Because if I could bet Spawn at 50, 55 with Scotty or 50 without, I'd probably bet the 50 without. That makes way more sense to me.
And I would say just sort of like taking a player. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they've gotten better at pricing these. Although, the other one is down. So I can't. But like, it's all about maybe identifying the player you like who you think is going to get a lot of steam. And then sort of by this afternoon, the without market is almost better. Like the number you have without is equal to or better than like the new with number. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Wyndham Clark because I've seen a lot of people talk him up.
That market doesn't respond in accordance with the outright market. They are 2, 3, 4 hours behind in updating that market most of the time.
But what's also so funny about this new age of golf we're in is that some of these sites, they like auto generate the market. So when Scotty doesn't play, we get these hilarious auto created, right, numbers of like the no Fitz, Spieth, like the books, just Scotty's taken over, that it's easier for them to just have it ready for the Scotty weeks. So I know he wasn't really on the page, but Victor is actually the first bet that I've made this week.
I haven't made any. I want to figure out what I want to do. I am going to bet Ludwig as like his fit here. I'm not going to bet Victor. So congratulations on your win, Victor. But 28 to 1. Do you see a better number than 28?
On Ludwig, 28 is the best I've seen.
Yeah, so I'll take the 28 on Ludwig. I'm also going to bet Nick Taylor with either 5 or 8 places. I'm going to look into it. I've seen him between 90 and 110, depending on where he's at in those each way markets. Just he had a really bad showing at the Open Championship. Happens. But he had been playing some pretty good golf before that. No one else really from that back end I like. Maybe Chris Kirk, his first round leader, played pretty well over the weekend at the Wyndham. He had been playing pretty well outside of the Open Championship in one round of the John Deere. He was first round leader here a year ago. Knapp, I would rather bet Knapp than bet Wyndham Clark from that back end if I was going to do it, but I might not. But like the guys that I'm looking at, Ludwig, Henley, Straka. Well, Straka 37 is a pretty good number. Berger and Spawn and Harris English. Like that type of guy was the type that I was looking for here. Connors as well. If no one bets Connors and he slips like back down to 40, I would probably get on that.
Yeah, I like Connors. I hadn't really thought about him just because I see his number around other guys I'd rather bet. And you mentioned the name that I was hoping to get a little bit more on, but he is just 50 to 1, and it's Daniel Berger. Hitting it straight as an arrow, the approach play, the course success. It's just at 50. I mean, maybe there's ways to make money on Berger this week. I don't know if it'll be the outright market, but of that like list of guys hovering 50 to 1, now he's my favorite.
Yeah, I would prefer Spawn at the same number because I think Spawn does what Berger does, but obviously better this year. And just taking a look at what he's doing right now, like at least he's putted well 2 of the past 4 starts. Just his putting is such a problem. It really does worry me. The approach has been great. Just the ball striking in general has been great. He's super accurate. Won here twice before, like you mentioned. I was hoping for the bigger number. Like nothing points to him. Like the best finish he's had, he had a run, Heritage and Truist, 2 elevated events with no cut. He was 3rd and 11th, and I don't think he's been better. I don't think he has a top 30 since. So that could be a problem. But in 5 starts here, career, 1 cut, 2 wins, a 2nd and a 5th. And 2 of those were WGCs. So not just your run-of-the-mill. The 2 wins were at your run-of-the-mill standard PGA event, but he had a 2nd and a 5th in the WGCs when they were here too.
I guess that works. Sam Burns also really, I mean, his odds feel pretty short. No, it's like the books are telling me, stay
He
away,
won.
stay away.
He lost here in the playoff before. He's played some decent golf leading up to this, not the 3M. He kind of had that. He had the 2-week run, Canadian U.S. Open, and he's been back to being Sam Burns again. Except he's not making putts at the moment. I guess when the books look at him when they're trying to price him, they know he's had success here before. They know, generally speaking, he's one of the top 5 putters on tour, and he's lost that the past 2 events. Like he lost over 4 strokes putting at the 3M, but now his tee to green is kind of back. He's driving the ball well. The approach is back. The chipping is back, and that's the stuff that was missing all year long. So now that has returned, they just hope that the putting returns and all of a sudden he wins.
So, in your opinion, then, Pat, under 40-1, who is the most mispriced golfer? Is it Tommy Fleetwood or Patrick Cantlay?
I see a 33 on Cantlay, so it's probably Tommy at 24.
Yeah.
Although I like Tommy to win this more than I like Cantlay. I'm not going to bet either of them.
I mean, I'm not here to like defend Tommy and some like Middle East win, but like Cantlay's win drought worldwide is probably much bigger than Tommy's right now.
Listen, maybe it's just because Cantlay became the head of the PGA Tour Players Council. We saw everyone last year besides Malnati like tank as soon as they joined that committee.
Well, Malnati did it to get the exemptions.
Well, and it worked.
Yeah,
although he won the Valspars, that wasn't
of course. And I joke, but I do feel like it's a different thing for like the guys on the Malnati status, age, and place on tour than Cantlay. And you're not wrong, Pat. Everyone who's taken that job has gotten just eaten up on the course. It has eaten them up. It has eaten up their game. Just stick to investing in private equity, taking single moms, family home, little family homes away, Patrick.
I see Xander at 15. That's a number I can bet.
Don't hate it. 16 is the biggest I've seen of the like high end, which it doesn't feel like there really is because it's Scotty and then it's Xander, and they're kind of both in their own separate tiers. But Xander is on my list of guys who could make this card, which is only about 4 or 5 deep.
Yeah, I could go Xander, Ludwig, Spawn, Taylor. Just call that a week. I mean, I'll have more in the newsletter once I start figuring this out. But that's sort of the structure because I actually haven't placed a bet as of yet.
Like last week, I bet 8 guys started at 50. This week, I'm probably betting 3 guys and could go as low as Xander.
Would you think about just dumping on Scheffler?
No, it's just no. I mean, I don't want to bet $500 on Scotty.
Fair.
Like I thought to say, like I wouldn't love to win 1,800 or whatever.
Yeah, but if you have the 500 to bet this week, is it all on Scotty or is it split up between 6 guys?
Yeah, like I'd rather. And if I bet 3 guys, I'm not even saying I bet 500 total, but I'm just saying like to get. If I put 500 in and like to put before I hit submit wager, I don't know. I don't want to bet that much to win that much. Although they'll be by Thursday afternoon, he'll be a pick'em. I'll be like, man, don't you wish you just had a fucking half a band on Scotty? Is what it is. I whatever happens this week, I just feel blessed right now. I'm running pure. I could like lose in the most pot geeter fashion at Mexico, and I still feel like I can't complain. So
you would be on here complaining.
I will be.
I know I would be.
Yeah, sure. But I'll probably find something else to yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. You're right. I got like a busy week of like I gotta like take care of myself this week. No golf.
You're not golfing this week?
Just I put off like appointments, and it's always like, yeah, but I don't want to like do it there because like maybe that's a golf window. And I've just like stacked appointments. Doctor, eye doctor, like it's already a shortened week. I've been golfing so much. Right now there's just no golf. It is like mornings and waiting rooms. That's what happens when you put it off.
It's true. I try to mix it in throughout the course.
Yeah,
I
it should have
knocked off
mixed
the
in.
dentist, I knocked off some blood work.
Oh, yeah, the blood work where I'll just like, I think about like routine baseball. I hate needles.
I don't mind needles, but I can't look at the needle go in. I mean, it's bad for my heroin habit because I can't do it anymore.
It's
Just
more
can't look at
like
the needle
I don't
going in.
mind the needle going in. I don't like watching like the blood pump out.
Oh, really? See, once it's in, I can watch that for days. I tell them, I was like, listen, I'm going to look over this way. You don't even tell me when it's going in. Just do it. Then I'm fine. It's the anticipation of the needle going in because it doesn't actually hurt.
No. And this is a dangerous way to lead into something. I believe what I'm about to say is appropriate.
We're live.
Let's just say there are certain people at the blood clinic where if it's my turn to go, I will wait for someone else who's a little gentler. As someone that's had some health stuff, like I have to get blood pretty regularly, so I go to the same place, and this person's jabbed and left bruise marks where like there's these little Asian lady who's so gentle and sweet, and I'll just be like, I don't care. I'll wait 2 extra people. Like I'm going with her. She's my gal, and she knows because if I get someone new, I have to tell them, listen, I promise you I'm okay. You might not think I'm okay, but I'm okay because I'm just like looking away like this, my knees shaking, and I'm just thinking about like the most generic routine ground ball, the shortstop, the fluidity of a professional baseball play. And then, it's out and it's over. And I'm a pussy, a big, giant pussy. Pussy alert walking through.
Quick picks and one and done is just you and I in the one and done remaining. Again, down in the comment section, you tell me, would you rather play NFL Survivor for $50 but way more people, or $250 with far fewer people for $1 million prize pool? That's the way that we have to think about it. And it wouldn't just be single entry, it'd be like 5 entries or something like that. Rather than at $50, it'd probably be like 50 entries per person if you really wanted to go spend it. So beating fewer people is always the play for me, but I want to hear from you guys. I bet Ludwig, while you were telling me about needles, 28-1, which means I'll probably do Xander at 16 and Nick Taylor at 100 and figure out the rest. What is your can't miss automatic winner of the week? Because I should probably tail that too. Is it Victor?
I am betting Victor 33. And then I will say the other 2 names will be, I'm with you, Xander, Ludwig, Daniel Berger, and maybe I'm crazy enough to do Cam Young again. Oh, and Tommy Fleetwood I could potentially bet. So it'll be like a 3-man card with a variation of those names. And it won't be Berger because it just doesn't feel like it's big enough, and I'll have spent my money on expensive players.
Okay. One and done picks. I'm going to use Fitz because I have him left. Who are you going to use?
I have to. Well, no, I don't want to do this. I probably used everybody. Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark. You are good on Wyndham Clark.
Oh my god. Who other than like Spieth? Who winning would like really shake the Ryder Cup foundation?
Finau or Ricky. It has to be someone like who is historically popular. It has been on teams before.
See, but I think Wyndham winning would be like a rumble, would be like, we've got not a problem, but like, because he is really good. He's a major winner. He could be a course fit, but Ricky and Finau and Spieth are like in a different category.
Spieth is in a different category than all of those guys.
Yes.
If Spieth comes second, they're like, oh, he's on the team now.
Okay, but then we have to do this, and then we can leave. What if Brooks wins this week?
No one cares.
Okay, that's a fair answer.
Who gives a fuck about Liv, man?
For the Ryder Cup, you don't think Brooks winning would trigger anything?
I think. Listen, actually, or like what people on Twitter will say.
Actually, like in the conversations of the captains.
He's been fucking pathetic all year.
Okay.
A win on Liv, which we've just seen the guy who dominates Liv can't compete against the big boys. I don't see what that's telling us.
Okay, what if Brooks...
Like Bryson isn't on the team because of his Liv play. He's on the team because of his major play.
I agree. What if Brooks wins Chicago and performs great in Indy, maybe
If he wins them back to back, then maybe you can twist my arm for a conversation on that.
Okay, I'm just curious what the conversation. Yeah, that's all.
But that's only because he's Brooks. If Reed goes back to back, they'll be like, fuck off.
Reed is done. There's nothing Reed could do in the Midwest that can save him for how his talent doesn't offset how much he's disliked. It just there's no. If he was amazing, that's a different convo. We're not there.
Yeah, I gave up my tea time this morning because obviously we're recording the show. There's no holidays on a Monday for me. We're always recording every single Monday, unless I'm legitimately away on vacation, which is like twice a year. But Cust, the two Tims are playing at my course right now. I'm getting live updates. This is why Tim is out of the one and done. He is abstained from it. But let's see right now. He's having a meltdown on the course is what I'm getting. And the other Tim told Cust to go to his happy place, and Cust told him that his new happy place is the parking lot when he's leaving.
And last week I spoke to Cust. The game was trending so good.
Well, Jared, you got your mic? I do, yeah. So Jared came out with us on Friday morning. And Butts just missed he needed a birdie on 18 to break 80, and now he didn't get it, and he's blaming Cust for just bringing bad vibes. Though when Cust gets sad, Tim sounds like horrible golf sad to be stuck with. You're playing great. He's probably not acknowledging your shots. He's so golf sad and ruining it. Well, Jared, you got the firsthand experience. The first round matchup at our Ryder Cup in 3 weeks is Jared versus Cust. Cust is on my team. Jared's on the other team. So we have them out just to have like a practice warm-up match. How would you say that Cust vibes were, Jared?
When he won the last 4 holes, they were great.
After the match was over?
After the match was already done and dusted. Yeah. It's one of those, like, he slices a drive into the woods, and you can't help but laugh, but he is legitimately, like, really angry, and you're like, kind of walking on eggshells for a little bit. It's not good.
Sorry, Jared. Sorry.
Go ahead.
My least favorite quality in golfing with someone is someone who's you have to like walk on eggshells because of them. And like their 17 handicap who hits it in the trees. And like now I'm on eggshells. So sorry. That's the sorry.
Now Tim will compliment your shots though, to be fair. He's not one of those where like the rest of you are also shit. Like he's a good guy about it.
I could see that about Tim. And I don't even mean it in negative. Like some people, they're not even like they might see your golf shot, but doesn't even register. And you're playing with someone who's so golf sad, and you hit this great bunker shot, and their brain is so broken that they can't even like acknowledge what you're doing, that you did something nice. That's the worst too. So at least Tim isn't like the full package.
Oh, so someone did comment that if Bryson is on the team based on his major play, then it seems plausible that Brooks would be consideration. What was the last time he won at Oak Hill 3 years ago?
Yeah. I don't if Brooks was on the PGA Tour, there'd be elevated event results I could glad hand like I do at Cantley.
Yeah. You can't do that because he's on live, unfortunately.
You can't do it.
If Spieth wins and Scam Young comes in second next week, do you take Spieth over Cam Young? I wouldn't take Spieth anyway. I'm just telling you what is going to happen with Spieth, that they would look for a reason to take him. I would take Cam Young in that scenario.
We agree.
Jared hit the best shot of his life when I played.
Awesome. Good for you.
Can you describe what happened, Jared? Because it's kind of funny at the same time, because it's hilarious.
Yeah. 3, what was it? Oh yeah, 3 off the tee, Jeff, into the woods into the massive ocean on the right, and then bombed the drive, and then faded just an absolute beautiful cutter up the right side of the fairway and lands to within 3 feet, and ended up parring the par 5 after 3 on the tee with the putt that I burned the right edge, and it actually fell backwards
into the hole.
The hole. Tim was like, "That's the best golf shot of the day." Thank you so much, Tim.
That ended Tim too. That made Jared win 5 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
But the eagle par on a par 5, you do not see that often.
That is incredible. Oh, that of course, like we can all relate to if you're playing someone in a match who does that, you are just in a pretzel. Like,
Oh, but Butts had me that way like 2 years ago. He was playing horrible, and then he chipped in 3 or 4 holes against me. I was like, "The fuck, man!" So, he made, and then the one hole that he didn't do it, he made a 45-foot putt for bogey, and I 3-putted from like 3 feet. Awful, awful stuff. But I am looking forward to playing that at the end of the month. That will do it for us. You got anything else?
no, we're good.
Who do I got? I got Noonan and Connor for NFL season long futures and win totals tomorrow. Wednesday or Tuesday evening is going to be the DraftKings show. No Tambo this week. I think it's Sia and myself. Sia Najad, who's the last 2 times he's come on the show, has given you a first round leader winner. So you should probably pay attention to him. Then Thursday, the Custies. And then Jeff, the week after that, me, you, and Cust start, I believe, is 25 straight weeks of football picks.
Cannot wait. The Custies. I love the lineup this week. Noonan and Connor. That's top shelf. And I was on with Sia a week ago. Had a wonderful time. What a great host. Content. Crushed it.
All right, that'll do it for me. Smash like on the way out. Please respond to that Survivor NFL question. That'll help me gauge the size of the pool, the amount of money that we can get into it to make it the best experience for everyone. And I will see you next time.